Bill Jackson says he's long sought spiritual practices to help quiet his own restless mind. For him, Zen Buddhism held the key. It teaches through mindful awareness and selflessness. One can approach every moment with clarity, focus, and calm, giving up control, trusting in the moment, and living with compassion. You think of a coach as being in control of his team, but you maintain control by giving up control.
When we try to control our mind, it's like trying to control a farm animal, a sheep, a cow, in a pasture that's too small for it. And it'll break through the fences. If you get obsessed with something, you'll break through your meditative state and become focused on this unless you just let it go. Go through. It's like a cloud passing through the sky. It comes in your mind and then it passes right through. So we talked about mindfulness as being, as much as we pump iron and we run to build our strength up, we need to build our mental strength up so we can focus, get one-pointed attention, and so that we can be in concert with one another in times of need. You take a breath and you reset yourself, and you do that through this mindfulness. You just come right back in and collect yourself. So we practiced mindfulness, is what you have to do.
Did you not also have them play in the dark at one point?
It wasn't totally dark, but I wanted them to get the idea of being able to do things that are just out of the ordinary, like silence day. You have a day of just silence. There's a lot of chatter in basketball.
And so were the guys receptive in the beginning to these new ideas about mindfulness?
He had a Tai Chi master come to practice and tells us to take our shoes off, and I'm pissed because I'm ready to play basketball. And he's standing up there and says everybody closes their eyes and stuff, and he does stuff like monk gazing at moon and talks about the fingertips and barely touching and the spirituality of all that. And I'm peeking around like, is everybody doing it? Like Phil's there doing it himself. He's like, he's doing this whole doing all this stuff, And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it.
So you would literally have the guys sit in stillness?
That's right.
Even when the Bulls weren't superior physically, they had a philosophical edge.
I think Phil had a lot to do with that, with his Zen practice, his whole emotional approach to a game of basketball. I think his teachings or the understanding of Zen Buddhism is how you view yourself to deal with the realities of life surrounding you, and somehow be able to correlate that to a simple game as basketball.
Game 7 against Boston, we were never rattled, ever, because we were always in the moment, always in the present, always extremely calm, always looking at the reality of the situation and not letting our emotions cloud our execution. And that comes from being in that meditative state that he would teach and preach from day one.
It's about how to be in the moment, being able to visualize what might happen in those times. Michael so embraced this, and I think that was the beauty of his game, is that he had all these abilities to adjust, not force his own predetermined idea, but allow those things to come together for his game.
I tend to be calm, things tend to slow down. As I go into situations that people don't know the outcome, I've already experienced them in my mind, just playing tricks with myself. So it didn't seem new to me, and I wasn't afraid to fail with it. Once I began to understand that, I became a master of the game of basketball. I've experienced a lot of different coaches, but he gave me the understanding about life in a whole different frame.
So he would do whatever it took to make sure that that happened. And he is a genius in every sense of the word, and how he sees the game, how he sees the spirituality of the game. And people don't understand that.
You also say that the critical ingredient in winning a ring is love. Would you like to explain?
I know teams that get along well together, they party well together, they have great times together, but they're not about, the sharing and the real deep care that goes into what you have to do as a team. That mean that you have to move outside of yourself and think about others. It's about following the moment, being in harmony with the moment. It's really important, and I think that's where we've lost some of our idea of what is religion and what is spirituality.